Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and also welcome to possibly the most fun I've ever had playing this game. Although, please wait for the end of the video for my conclusion on the matter. Today, I am playing in Wargaming's Arcade Cabinet, short time game mode, which is only available for the rest of today. If you missed my video on Friday, just to break it down for you, this is what would happen if everybody's engine power was increased by 100%, everybody's dispersion on the move was pretty much completely negated, and everybody had ultimate accuracy, i.e. railgun game mode. But I didn't really think about the shooting. As you can clearly see, of course, as is the QuickyBaby way, if I have an opportunity to turn my tank into the ultimate weapon rather than actually the gun that's on it, I will do so. Yeah, that's right. I just rammed a Renegade going uphill for 933. I don't think he really expected that. Pretty much taking out the entirety of arguably the best premium heavy tank in the game in a single moment at the start of this battle. This game mode has just been absolutely outrageous for making credits. Of course, when every tank goes fast and every vehicle doesn't miss its shells, it massively accelerates the speed of the game. And so the battles have been really quick. And so, while in my video that I released on Friday, you saw me play the tier 10 tanks, and we had a few giggles because, oh haha, hee, you know, big British tank destroyer guns can now reliably one-shot your opponents and you never miss, and haha, hee, IS-7 drives around real quick. I got bored quite quickly playing tier 10, and then I realized that this was a real good opportunity to make a load of credits. And so if you watch this video as it's being released on Sunday, it's still not too late. Get in your big, derpy, stupid tanks and you might be able to make a good amount of credits, because the game's just so fast. Now, unless you're an aggressive player, unless you don't mind dying occasionally, I also wouldn't really recommend playing this game mode, as it's a bit all over the place. But here is clearly a KV-5 that's set up a little bit like me, and I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit here just to show you something ridiculous. I get tracked, and I get rammed into the T-28 while I'm tracked sideways, and I still do 388 damage to the T-28. Unfortunately for me, the enemies locked us down, but we're not gone. We set the Caliban on fire, ram him for what appears to be an extra 500 damage, hopefully finish off the T-28 because we don't low roll, get shot in the back by a Skoda, nothing I can do about that. I just have to focus on creating a sandwich, a Skoda T-56 sandwich. And a big thank you to the KV-5 on my team. I wasn't quite ready to press the Z key right now because I was focused on trying to defend myself so I don't die. But then I realized, you know what, that was actually pretty cool. Oh, wait for it. Yeah. And I do give him a big thumbs up and say thank you to the KV-5. He gets through the game on 124 hit points. I get through the game on 28 hit points. And yeah, I think you can clearly see what were or are, if you're watching this video, as it's released on Sunday, the best kind of tanks to play in this game mode. Any vehicle which has decent top speed but low engine power, like a KV-5, is absolutely fabulous. And any vehicle that can ram and also just be able to snapshot on the move now like that is fabulous as well. And gun handling and accuracy were never the KV-5's forte. All right, who's going to win? Alpine Tiger versus a KV-5 on 28 hit points. Well, if you thought that it was going to be the Alpine Tiger, yeah, you'd be wrong. That was the most casual Top Gun I think I've ever had in World of Tanks, and we're up to 6,200 damage. Unfortunately, we're not going to get any more out of this game as our team go and manage to finish off the Tiger. 6,000 damage in a premium tank in just over 4 minutes, and 176,000 credits profit when I'm running a credit booster as well. That was 246,000 credits received. This game mode has been absolutely outrageous, is if all you care about is going absolutely crazy and trying to pick up as much as you can. And you think I'm only going to give you one helping of gameplay today? No, we've got 3 helpings of gameplay coming up for you. Now remember, one of the other things about the railgun game mode is that everybody's spotting distance, the proxy spotting distance, was increased to 445 meters. And so while usually if I end up in this position super early in the game, there are going to be tank destroyers that like to sit in these bushes here or behind the rocks over here that can manage to stop me, as you can clearly see, that's not the case. And so by just getting forwards aggressively in a heavy tank during this game mode, what you're able to do is get rid of most of the hit points off the ISU 152 with a little bit of spotting, even though I don't have any kind of view range on him. Because, of course, the spotting distance is now the entire 445-meter white circle that you see on the minimap. So, of course, that means that you'd be an idiot if you take coated optics or binoculars on any of your vehicles, or exhaust, or you pump up any of the camo. You want to go for raw statistics. You want to go for DPM. You want to go for turbo, which is usually something that I do in the random queue anyway. So I guess it's almost as if Wargaming made this game mode just for me, right? I made the game mode as well just for the KB5. It's hilarious that a vehicle which is fun to play inside the random queue has just become this completely unbalanced, broken thing inside the railgun game mode. It's not the kind of vehicle that I thought would have. But after playing for a little while, yeah, I can see exactly why it's the case. And so this is kind of the perfect position for a KV-5 on airfield. Usually, you couldn't do this in a random queue. The TDs would have been able to deal with me. But now, I'm just in this wonderful crossfire where I stop anybody from working the high ground, and I can hopefully be able to get rid of this Patriot, who's actually being really irritating right now. Another thing I will say about this game mode is that a lot of people didn't fire many premium rounds. Now, I think that's because a lot of players are just trying to make credits playing this game mode, which gets a thumbs up from me. But also, perhaps, when you're pinpoint accurate, maybe you can actually penetrate with your regular rounds more reliably because they deviate less away from the game. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of people with their tinfoil hats on down in the comments below thinking, well, that's why we have RNG in World of Tanks. Everyone has to load the gold to be able to make up for the inaccuracies of the gun, right? Yeah, do you see that pixel shot there into the VK100-01? It has actually been kind of fun playing this game mode. I'm not saying that I have incredible aim inside World of Tanks. I definitely don't have incredible aim. But I don't think it's absolutely horrific and awful. And some of my clutch shots that come in from other first-person shooter games can actually start to work inside this game mode. And you're not just doing it on tanks when you're playing the Leopard, for example, which also has been a lot of fun. Some people have been playing the Caliban in this game mode, and while I do understand that it's kind of fun to be able to snipe weak points with the Caliban, its DPM is just too low, and the vehicle's just too slow, for me at least, to think that it's an enjoyable tank in this kind of a meta. Alright, so the T-44 manages to put a shot in me. The Caliban looks like he wants to come around the corner again. I'm just going to keep moving and hopefully make my weak point a hard shot for the IS-3. And it seems to be the case. And hopefully I'm going to be able to finish them off with the next shell. I actually decide instead to try and weaken the T-44 and not chase the IS-3 round the corner in case maybe the Caliban would be able to get a shot in me. And I just feel as if I'm the complete alpha in this situation. We're outnumbered on tanks by 2, but we're definitely not outnumbered on hit points. And I've still got 800 left, so I'm feeling very confident in this scenario. Boom, there we go, T-44 out the game. Unfortunately, the IS-3 removes half of my hit points, which now means that I'm a one-shot for pretty much all of the vehicles apart from the Borask. But the Borask doesn't seem to want to come around the corner, or maybe he does. Oh, I guess he does. Another tank which a lot of people have been playing have been the Borask. Of course, a vehicle like that, which has really bad accuracy and not the best gun handling, can kind of become this mobile laser pointer. But again, I think the fact that you get proxy spotted in a vehicle like this means that now that they're locked down, what are they really able to do against a heavy tank like this? Unless, I guess, they do manage to hit those weak points. Alright, so Borask coming in. Is he going to want to try and take me on in this situation? Well, I'm going to hopefully track them, but it doesn't actually manage to take the track off. And luckily, I've got a 122 TM who helps me out, and I decide to make, yeah, the reactionary pressure play on the IS-3. They choke. We don't. We take their kill down. And this relatively close game is now looking as if it's firmly in my team's favor. We finish off the VK. My IS-3A finishes off the Caliban. And wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. This job is done. Once again, with 6,200 combined, I believe, in this 4-minute round. But you know what? I think things were a little bit too sensible here. Let's turn the stupid up to 10 in the next game. So mines it is, and of course, where do you want to contest on mines when you're playing in a relatively slow, heavy tank? Well, the middle, of course. We're going to try and make our way up there. Unfortunately, it looks like the ELC even 90 was a little bit blocked. Somebody seems to be a little bit unhappy about the situation. Maybe it was an IS-3 behind us. I was feeling a little bit nervous because we've got an AFK Skoda T56, and it looks like the enemies are going to be able to cleanly make their way up on top of the hill. And if they can get up on top of the hill, they're going to have the crossfire, and I'm not sure how well we're going to be there. So I'm hoping that I'm not about to get, brake checked. That's rather irritating. And reversing into me. Just get out of their way. That's all right. But that means that now, surely I'm not going to drive up here. But I just decided, why not take the risk? They probably won't expect me to be this stupid. And luckily, it was actually the case. All right, well, we made it up on the hill and we got half of our hit points to boot. Not too shabby, right? Okay, well, you know what? Maybe the Skoda isn't going to actually see us. And I don't want to shoot at him right now, because if I do, yeah, he'll prepare for the ram. And I figure out now I might need the extra shot on him. So we give him a little bit of an awkward interrupt from behind, bump him for a casual 413, and then finish him off with 243 damage. But here comes Captain Progetto. We miss our shell like an absolute donkey on the ridgeline, but uh-oh. I mean, what just happened? You can see my live reaction. Well, my reaction at the time was one of complete disbelief. You know what? We have to rewind this. We have to rewind this. This might be one of the most stupid moments I've ever seen in World of Tanks history. Look at the air the Progetto gets. Whoop! Do you know what is so ridiculous about this? Is that something very unusual happened. You see how I actually got 424 damage after the 754 ramming on the Progetto. And what's ridiculous about this is we actually, I'm going to say it again, yeeted the Progetto 46 so hard in this game. We sent them so airborne with the pirouette in the sky that I think the game engine thought that we must have pushed him off a cliff, and that the crashing damage was actually attributed as regular damage to our tank. Bizarre. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense that when Wargaming changed the very fundamentals of World of Tanks, that the very fundamentals of how damage is attributed would also be. I can't believe that I managed to ram that Progetto up in the air so much that it effectively just broke the damage attribution, the very fundamentals of the game mechanics. Oh, I have to admit, this game mode has been absolutely fun for blowing off a little bit of steam and doing some absolutely stupid stuff in a KV-5. And even if you think it's only premium tanks that can do this, no. You could be able to do this in a KV-4 as well. So if any of you have the Tier 8 Soviet heavy tank, maybe try and set it up with a durability device, maybe the improved configuration, and maybe even vents, and then just get stupid inside your games. You'll be surprised at what kind of ridiculous things you might be able to achieve. I mean, I think this video in itself is pretty much the perfect example of that. So I'm just trying to decide about where I want to shoot this Chrysler here now. I can't quite manage to go through their weak point, and so I kind of just decide to go for the Pantera instead. The Chrysler actually manages to get around through my side. I'm looking for a shell, thinking about can I hit the weak point. Well, I hit the weak point, but unfortunately it's not quite enough penetration. So instead of loading gold, as I'm trying to make credits after all, what I'm going to do is splash around onto the top of the vehicle with high explosive. But unfortunately now I don't really have the hit points left to be able to do anything in this game. But you can see what I'm thinking. You can see what I'm thinking. You can see what I'm thinking. Let's go! And darn it. Somebody managed to shoot the Progetto just before the Pantera just before I landed on them. And we actually end up, while we do secure the kill and get our 5th frag of the game, it was only for 13 damage. Nevertheless, 5 kills, 4,000 combined in less than 4 minutes, and a very meaty profit as well. And so, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there you have it. Possibly the most fun I've had in World of Tanks history. Obviously, before I send this Progetto to the moon, unlike Bitcoin, which is definitely not going to the moon right now, I'd like to clarify a few things. And that while this was a good giggle, and while it was a lot of fun, I'm kind of happy that Wargaming don't have this game mode as an idea of what World of Tanks could become or what it should be. And that is because pretty much all of the games that I played, after a while, were the same thing again and again and again. There was no intelligence, there was no discovery with different positions that would work. There was just one position which was really optimally the best because you'd get into it, be able to spot everyone and be able to engage your opponents from it. And the lack of the spotting mechanics in the game, after a while, just made it feel completely boring and fruitless. When everybody is spotted, that means there's no opportunities to try and sneak up on your opponents or to try and de-engage and then be able to flank them or to try and do things that they wouldn't expect. And I didn't realize until I played this game mode how much I love those aspects in World of Tanks. It's the sneakiness, the view range mechanics, the fact that then that encourages the class-based combat to take play rather than heavy tanks just doing this to pretty much everything that they end up playing against is definitely one of the best parts of World of Tanks. And so Wargaming, while I think that the arcade cabinet was a lot of fun, and if this doesn't really require too many resources, I think it could be quite fun to have this for one weekend, once a month. Don't get any funny ideas. After a while of it being really, really fun, it was about as boring as it can be in World of Tanks. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. Really hope you enjoyed this video and all of its silliness. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And if you're watching this video as it's released on Sunday, later on today, there will be a Tech Tree showcase on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby, where I'm going to be featuring every single one of the Swedish medium tanks leading up towards the UDES 1516. So if you've ever wanted to know all about the Swedish mediums with their hydropneumatic suspensions, their extra high alpha damage, and towards the top end, really good turret armor, then come along and I'll demystify the tech tree for you. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you all live right now on twitch.tv/QuickyBaby. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic and hopefully I'll see you soon.